All right, all right. Story number two. Now, we covered the presidential debate on this channel between former President Trump and Vice President Harris. And one of the craziest moments during this debate was when Trump goes on a rant about how immigrants in Ohio, Haitian immigrants in Ohio, are eating people's cats, dogs, eating people's pets. Okay, here's a clip just as a refresher.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country. And it's a
They're eating the pets. Let's look at that one more time. I'm sorry. The way he says it, he looks so serious, too. And Kamala's reaction is like, you are nuts, old man. You are out of your mind. But this is funny.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country. And it's in Springfield.
Okay, so now we're caught up. So that happened during the debate. Now, what he's referring to is a conversation that at this point had been going on for a week or so, maybe a little longer. And so there were people on the ground, citizens of Springfield, Ohio, who somehow through Facebook and perhaps their own interactions, they started saying they believed that Haitian immigrants had been stealing people's cats and eating them. So this was a news story that was taken seriously for a long period of time. J.D. Vance, I believe he's from Ohio, he's the vice presidential candidate for the Red Team. He has been talking about that like crazy. He's been like, oh my God, my constituents tell me their Haitians are eating the dogs and the cats. Haitians are eating the dogs and the cats. I mean, this story went on for a while. It went on for a while, right? I mean, there was a 25-minute documentary that was released right after. I mean, they clearly filmed this before the debate, but right after the debates when I saw it. And so, this guy right here, his name is Tyler Oliveira. He went to Springfield, Ohio, and he started asking people about what's happening with the Haitian immigrants. And Springfield, Ohio is an interesting case study because that town has been shrinking. It's been shrinking for decades. As manufacturing has left a lot of cities in the South and the Mid, well, not really the South. Well, yeah, I guess so, in the South and the Midwest, whatever. A lot of these industrial towns in the Midwest, primarily, as over the years, like pretty much in most of our lives, definitely since NAFTA. And I think that was Clinton who did NAFTA, if I'm not mistaken. But a lot of jobs have been going overseas. They've been going to Mexico. They've been going to China. They've been going to India as economic globalization has taken root. And so a lot of factories, a lot of manufacturing jobs in the Midwest have been leaving. And so once the jobs left, a lot of those towns have been shrinking. And Springfield, Ohio is one of those towns. So that town went from about 70,000, 80,000 people, and it shrunk down to maybe 50,000 or something, somewhere in there. And as a result, it's really a city on decline. Now, one of the things that's been happening in recent years is, different administrations have been trying to come up with different things that'll help bring jobs back. And part of the Inflation Reduction Act gave certain benefits to certain companies or incentives to certain companies to start bringing manufacturing back in the United States. Same thing with the Build Back Better bill. Biden gets a lot of criticism, generally speaking, but he did some good acts. Like the Build Back Better bill was great. The CHIPS Act, the Inflation Reduction Act, a lot of these acts have had real economic impact, right? And so now more jobs are coming back to Springfield, but they didn't have the workforce. So Springfield leadership, Ohio and Springfield leadership, opened the city up to have more immigrants. So they have about 20,000 Haitian immigrants in this town of 60,000, 50,000 or whatever it is now, which is a lot. I mean, that's just a lot in any context. If 25%, if your city has grown by 25%, and they're all people from a totally different culture, barely speak the language, you're going to feel it. And there have been real challenges in Springfield, right? One of them is lines at the DMV or a lot of government municipal buildings, et cetera, services, et cetera, are really overwhelmed for a town like Springfield. So that's one thing that is happening. Another thing is the driving. Apparently, these Haitians, when the Haitians get there, they're not used to driving, or they don't necessarily know. Maybe they didn't take a driver's class, but just in various reports, there are tons of car accidents that are happening in Springfield. So there are some, pains of progress that are happening, or things that irritate the citizens who still live there. And one of the things that they started saying was that the Haitians got there and started eating cats and dogs and pets. And this documentary, this guy, Oliveira, he goes around and asks everybody all the different issues that are happening, along with the other things I've said. They started saying things like this.
Clean them a little bit, rent them to them. They pay the rent.
I heard on Twitter that cats are getting kidnapped. Is that true?
Yes, my mom actually seen a post on Facebook. There was Haitians in a white van driving around the neighborhoods collecting cat.
For what?
Skinning them and eating them. Snyder Park, our actual park. If a Haitian is caught walking the grounds down there, they can get arrested because they're going down there and they're killing the Canadian geese so they can take them home and eat them.
I wouldn't be surprised though, because we used to have a lot of cats around here. And especially down here at the end of the street, that lady had probably 50 of them. Now she's lucky to have 5. And the geese. Yeah.
So this is a thing. Now, if you notice, that lady said, yes, my mom saw it on Facebook. That's how this is. Even she framed it. And just about everybody in this video framed it that way. Nobody said, yeah, I'm the one that posted that. Yeah, I'm the one that saw that. In this, this is a right-leaning documentary that's looking at what's happening in Springfield, Ohio. But I'm showing you how far this conversation has gone, right? So this documentary comes out. There was also, after the debate, there was a bomb threat at issued to multiple facilities throughout Springfield. Authorities are responding. A bomb threat. This looked like people are so upset at all these Haitians coming to town, and they're eating people's pets per Facebook, per the former president of the United States, right? There was a bomb threat. The city of Springfield received a bomb threat that has prompted an immediate response from local and regional law enforcement. As precautionary measure, the building has been evacuated, and authorities are currently conducting a thorough investigation. Our primary concern is the safety and well-being of our employees and residents. We are working to address the situation as swiftly as possible. City officials were alerted to the threat via an email message this morning at 8:24 a.m. The email was sent to multiple agencies and media outlets. We ask the community to avoid the area surrounding City Hall vicinity while investigation is ongoing, and to report any suspicious activity to the Springfield Police Department. We appreciate your patience and cooperation as we work through this matter. So because the Haitians have to go to all these government, to a degree, everyone has to go every now and again, but there's so many Haitians that at one time they're all going to City Hall or different municipal buildings to get driver's licenses or Medicaid cards or EBT cards or whatever type of government stuff. And so someone called it a bomb threat, right? So this became a big story. This is a big story. And now people are threatening to blow stuff up, and so this thing reached all the way up into the president of the United States. Trump's in the debates saying this again. Remember what he said again? He said,
in Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. Right. So this is a really big story. Well, J.D. Vance, the Dan Quayle of our generation, he goes on CNN and he's talking to Dana Bash. And Dana asks him if he's ready to retract this statement, because multiple times this has been proven not to be true. Like even right here, right? This was from the authorities on the ground in Springfield. Baseless rumors have spread on social media for days, claiming that Haitian immigrants in Ohio are abducting and eating pets. Most of the rumors involve Springfield, which has a large number of Haitian immigrants, but police there released a statement Monday knocking down the stories and saying they hadn't seen any documented examples. There have been no credible reports or specific claims of pets being harmed, injured, or abused by individuals within the immigrant community, police said in the statement. The statement came out before Trump said what he said. So, on CNN, J.D. Vance, the Dan Quayle of our generation, not sure if he can spell potato. Dana Bash asks him about this. Here's what he says. Watch this.
Just once and for all, you again started this in part by saying that, at which Donald Trump repeated on the debate stage, that, and he didn't say anything about the policies that you're talking about. He just said Haitians are eating dogs and cats. Can you affirmatively say now that that is a rumor that has no basis with evidence?
Dana, the evidence is the first-hand account of my constituents who are telling me that this happened. And by the way, I've been trying to talk about the problems in Springfield for months, and the American media ignored it. There was a congressional hearing just last week of angel moms who lost children because Kamala Harris let criminal migrants into this country who then murdered their children. The American media totally ignored this stuff until Donald Trump and I started talking about cat memes. If I have to,
but it wasn't just a meme,
create stories so that the American media actually pays attention to the suffering of the American people, then that's what I'm going to do, Dana, because you guys are completely letting Kamala Harris coast.
My man said, if I have to make up stories, if Donald Trump and I have to make up stories, Dana Bash presses him. Let's see this.
Creating a story policy.
Sir, you just said that you're creating the story.
What's that, Dana?
You just said that this is a story that you created. So the eating dogs and cats thing is not accurate.
Dana, it comes from firsthand accounts from my constituents. I say that we're creating a story.
From Facebook.
Meaning we're creating the American media focusing on it. I didn't create 20,000 illegal migrants coming into Springfield thanks to Kamala Harris's policies. Her policies did that, but yes, we created the actual focus that allowed the American media to talk about this story and the suffering caused by Kamala Harris's policies.
My man sat there and made Dana Bash look good. I really can't stand Dana Bash. She's one of the worst people on TV. She's like, oh my God, she's like Andrea Kramer? What's that lady's name? I guess the old lady be falling asleep in the interviews. I can't think of her name. She's like the new her. Okay. And somehow J.D. Vance has elevated her to like esteemed journalist, in my opinion. I don't know, and this, at least in this clip. But they literally said, if I have to make this up, if we have to create stories to get people to pay attention to this, then that's what they're going to do. So they created this racist, xenophobic story about Haitians moving to Ohio and stealing and eating cats and dogs for political points, to improve their political position, to other, truthfully, a workforce that the town needs. So all the stuff we've been hearing about eating cats and dogs, per the Dan Quayle of our time, vice presidential candidate J.D. Vance, they created that. They created that story. He admitted to it. Now, I want to close this with a clip from John Legend. He actually spoke on this. John Legend is from Springfield. John Stevens, I think his last name is. And, you know, he had a very heartfelt message to his community. I think wraps this up. But if you need a quick sound bites, Haitians ain't eating your dogs and cats, man. Ain't no Haitians eating no dogs and cats. Okay. Here's John Legend.
Hello, everyone. My name is John Legend, and I was born as John R. Stevens from a place called Springfield, Ohio. Oh, Springfield, Ohio. You may have heard of Springfield, Ohio this week. In fact, if you watch the debate, we were discussed by our presidential candidates, including a very special interesting man named Donald J. Trump. Now, Springfield has had a large influx of Haitian immigrants who have come to our city. Now, our city had been shrinking for decades. We didn't have enough jobs. We didn't have enough opportunity. So people left and went somewhere else. So when I was there, we had upwards of 75,000 people. And in the last 5 years, we were down to like 60,000 people. But of late, during the Biden administration, there have been more jobs that opened up, more manufacturing jobs, more plants, factories that needed employees and were ready to hire people. So we had a lot of job opportunities, and we didn't have enough people in our town of 60,000 people to fill those jobs. And during the same time, there had been upheaval and turmoil in Haiti, and the federal government granted visas and immigration status to a certain number of Haitian immigrants so they could come to our country legally. And our demand in Springfield for additional labor met up with the supply of additional Haitian immigrants. And here we are. We had about 15,000 or so immigrants move to my town of 60,000. Now, you might say, wow, that's a lot of people for a town that only had 60,000 before. That's a 25% increase. That is correct. So you might imagine there are some challenges with, integrating a new population, new language, new culture, new dietary preferences, all kinds of reasons why there might be growing pains, making sure there are enough services to accommodate the new larger population that might need bilingual service providers, et cetera, et cetera. So there are plenty of reasons why this might be a challenge for my hometown. But the bottom line is these people came to Springfield because there were jobs for them and they were willing to work. And they wanted to live the American dream, just like your German ancestors, your Irish ancestors,
Make great points right now.
your Italian ancestors, your Jewish ancestors, your Jamaican ancestors, your Polish ancestors, all these ancestors who have moved to this country, maybe not speaking the language that everyone else spoke, maybe not eating the same foods.
He didn't say black people or indigenous people.
Maybe having to adjust, maybe having to integrate, but all coming because they saw opportunity for themselves and their families.
Because black people and indigenous people aren't immigrants. We didn't come here for opportunity. We were the opportunity.
Families in the American dream, and they came here to do that. Some facts about immigrants. They usually do very well here. They are hardworking. They're ambitious. They commit less crime than native-born Americans, and they will assimilate and integrate in time, but it takes time. So I think all of us need to have the same kind of grace that we would want our ancestors to have when they moved here with our Haitian brothers and sisters who move here too. And nobody's eating cats. Nobody's eating dogs. We all just want to live and flourish and raise our families in a healthy and safe environment. How about we love one another? I grew up in the Christian tradition. We said to love our neighbor as we love ourselves and treat strangers as though they might be Christ. So how about we adopt that ethos when we talk about immigrants moving to our communities and don't spread hateful, xenophobic, racist lies about them. John R. Stevens from Springfield, signing off.
So that's John Legend's take on it as someone from Springfield, Ohio. I think he makes a passionate call for unity on this. I think he makes a passionate call for the betterment of his city and his community. Obviously, everything immigration related is a hot topic during this election cycle. And I just hope people remember that more than anything else, people are easily manipulated into thinking their neighbor is their enemy. And that's not always the case. So let me know what you think about JV Vance, this generation's Dan Quayle. Freudian slipping his way into admitting that Haitians were never eating cats and dogs and pets, and how far this what looks like a lie, a coordinated strategic lie, has traveled. I would love to hear your thoughts on it. My name is Justin Hunt. Like, subscribe to the channel, follow at The Company Man on everything. It's all happening.
Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. The mathematical breakdown of this mighty game of rap we in. It's boom bapping in. Systematical culture views, it's radical, it's all happening. Shaking hands and dapping it. Life through the lens of hip hop, from trip hop to yes, yes, y'all, you don't stop, you don't stop. Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. It's all happening, yes, it's all happening. Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. It's all happening, yes, it's all happening.